writer-director Wes Anderson is back with his 11th feature-length film, Asteroid City. And dare I say, this might be one of my favorite films of his. Wes Anderson is an interesting person, especially within culture today. I would argue he's one of a select few directors that people know outside of just the film community. Probably Steven Spielberg, Christopher Nolan, but Wes Anderson is definitely right up there. Specifically because of his style and aesthetic and the way that he creates these films. To the point where I think he is sometimes overly criticized for his style. Especially within the last year, we've seen a lot of memes, TikToks, AI recreation of popular films done in the style of Wes Anderson. And oftentimes whenever we see the joke is essentially if you put anything in center frame, make the whole frame symmetrical, it's a Wes Anderson movie. And now to say that's the only component of what makes a Wes Anderson film, I think is a really shallow criticism because there's so much more that goes into it. Obviously, he loves things to be centered and neat and likes to play with these little doll houses and make them come to life. But when you pay attention to what is within the frame of a Wes Anderson film, every single shot is crafted so intentionally. It is a beautiful work of art. His scripts are at the bare minimum compelling and require a second watch to catch every line of dialogue that might have gone over your head. And often it does take me about 2 watches to really catch every single thing he's trying to say within these scripts. I can't really say there's a bad film of his. There's definitely some I don't enjoy as much. The French Dispatch was one of them, which was his last one that came out 2 years ago. And so for me, Asteroid City is a return to everything I love about him as a filmmaker. One thing that he always does so well is direct his actors, which is always a all-star lineup of actors, into acting in a way that is so emotionally driven while still delivering the lines very straight. There's this level of irony in their delivery where the things that they are saying are emotional and sometimes dark, but it's delivered so straight you can't help but smirk and kind of fall in love with all these characters. And I would say my biggest criticism of this film is that there are definitely a tad too many characters, and I don't even know if I can classify that as criticism because my takeaway is that I just wanted this movie to be longer so I could spend more time with them. Let's just go through some of this cast. Jason Schwartzman, Scarlett Johansson, Tom Hanks, Jeffrey Wright, Tilda Swinton, Bryan Cranston, Edward Norton, Adrian Brody, Maya Hawke, Steve Carell, William Dafoe, Margot Robbie, Jeff Goldblum, and so many more that honestly could have been the lead in this film. The main standouts for me were Tom Hanks and Steve Carell, but I think that was mostly due to me not really enjoying anything they've done in the past 5 years or so. When I saw them both on the screen, I remembered why I loved both of them as actors, and it made me really sad remembering the roles that they have taken in the past couple of years. Another standout for me was Jake Ryan, who I loved in 8th grade a couple of years ago, and he was really the standout of that film. But he has such a beautiful arc in Asteroid City, and I was honestly surprised because I didn't see that coming, especially when he's acting amongst some of the best of the best. What really drove this home, though, was I think the framing device in which this film is presented. About 30-45 minutes into this film, I was actually starting to get a little bit annoyed with it, and it really brought me back to the French Dispatch, which I did not like that framing device at all. But by the end of the movie, it wraps up so nicely, and it actually connects a lot with some of our main characters and their emotional journeys. It kind of redefines why this framing device exists at all within this movie, and I think without it, the emotional gut punch wouldn't have hit so hard. In many ways, I think Wes Anderson is trying to make a statement about his own career by doing this film at all. Not just with the framing device, but really every aspect of what makes a Wes Anderson movie. He doubles and triples down within this film, and I think it's effective. I think what he does is shows his critics that yes, I do make movies in this style, but they are intentional, and this film really feels like it couldn't be told any other way outside of his style. So maybe that's lazy criticism on my part, but I really do feel like he's one of those directors where if you like his style, you're going to enjoy and connect with this film. Sure, you can open up TikTok and watch a bunch of people dress up like his films and stand center frame claiming they are in a Wes Anderson movie, but there is so much more to him as a filmmaker, and I think this film has a lot to say. It has a lot to say about family, how we connect with other people, the meaning of life, all done within this smart, quick-witted script with a beautiful aesthetic surrounding the whole thing. Like I said earlier on initial watch, it's definitely towards the top of my favorite Wes Anderson films, and I definitely think it's going to be one of my favorite films of this year. That is Asteroid City. Have you seen it? What do you think? Comment below. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you want to see more content like this, and I will see you next time.